Today on Dear Founder, we have a very special guest. We have Sally Mueller, who is the co-founder of Womaness. And I love Sally's story and I can't wait for her to share it. But Sally founded this company later in life for women who are later in life. And she has a whole host of incredible credentials building brands behind her. And oddly enough, we probably overlapped at one point when I was working with Target in the baby space and she was managing baby at Target. But I welcome to Dear Founder, Sally. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you, Lindsay. It's so fun to be here.
And I can't wait to hear your story. I feel like you have so much amazing wisdom to impart on everyone. When I read your bio, I was like floored, and I read your bio after I agreed to this. So, you know, I loved your company. I loved what you were doing. And I really wanted to bring someone in here who started something later and who started something later for themselves, essentially, is what I'm guessing.
Absolutely. And I've started later twice. So
just share your story with
us. So I grew up in a very entrepreneurial family. My mom left student teaching. She was like a grade school teacher, and she opened Merle Norman Cosmetic Studios. And many people don't know Merle Norman was kind of a very, very well-respected, it's still in existence, but it's basically a line of beauty products. And they have studios throughout the United States. And it was very popular, I would say, in the 70s and 80s. And she had 4 studios. And I actually worked for her in high school and college. And that process left me just with such an appreciation for women and, you know, what the impact beauty can have on women, right? Because I felt like I was always helping women feel better from the inside out. So it was a really, really great experience. Didn't realize that, you know, that would come back and really be part of Womaness as it is today. But after college, I started at Target as an entry-level executive, literally like 5 days after I graduated from University of Wisconsin-Madison. And God forbid I'd take a break, but I started because they wanted me to be in the training program, and it was a merchandising role. And I was placed in the girls' fashion area, which I thought was just incredible. It was really a fun area. It's a very trendy, you know, it's apparel. It's very trendy fashion. I always used to say, you know, 1 minute denim skirts were hot. The next minute denim skirts were dogs. Like this girl was so fickle. I mean, it's like an 8-year-old girl, right? So she's just really fleeting.
Yes, I have an 8-year-old girl.
Oh, so, good. Yes, so you can relate. Yes.
I know.
So retail got in my blood through that whole experience. And I just loved not only the trend forecasting part of retail, but even the financial side, you know, predicting how much to buy and you know, making sure that the stores were in stock. It was really, really fun. It's basically, you know, such a great exercise of left brain and right brain.
Yeah.
So loved it so much. And about 10 years into merchandising, I decided that I wanted to join the marketing team at Target. So the marketing time, you know, or team at Target was doing some really interesting things. This is like the late 90s. They were starting to kind of dabble with designers. Michael Graves launched at Target at that point. It's like
when Target became really cool.
Exactly. So it just started this kind of, I call it the retail revolution, and joined the marketing area. And I was responsible for all apparel marketing and even brand level marketing. And it was a very small team back then. And I was able to wear so many hats and, you know, started working on blowing out and really, you know, developing this designer program. And so
were you there during the Missoni craziness?
Yes, I was. I had actually
cleared out the stores, and
I had actually just left Target at that point, but really helped get all of the deal in place, which took many years to get that done.
I just remember that was insanity.
Yeah, it was like 12 seconds and it was sold out. So had a great run in marketing that lasted over 12 years. and, brought in several designers, and I think really helped put Target on the map for like affordable chic and affordable design.
Yeah.
And just felt like it was such an exciting time to be there. But I was turning 45 and I thought, either I take a right turn with my career at this point, or I just, I continue through, thriving at Target. And I thought, why not take all my entrepreneurial experience and my network and really start my own business? So I took a huge leap, a huge risk. At the time, I knew it was a little scary. Now, looking back, I can't believe I did it. But I had a lot of support from my family, and I started my business. I mean, literally left Target on a Friday and started my business on Monday. And my business was all about helping develop brands and really pitch them to retailers like Target or Kohl's, or
scoop.
I knew the inside scoop, but I really liked the brand building side of the business. And I thought, why not help retailers? Because so many retailers wanted to, take a chapter out of the Target playbook. So I did that for about 10 years. And in that process helped take Who What Wear, which is an incredible fashion company, really known for media. It was a media company. And approached Catherine and Hillary, the two founders, about taking in
podcast.
Yeah, it was so fun taking, a media brand and extending it into product. And we all decided to join forces and do that. And we were successful at launching it at Target. And it's still at Target today. So really, really great experience doing that. And then I helped create Versed, which is a clean skincare brand, doing extremely well at, it's at Target and elsewhere. And so I learned a lot about even developing a beauty, it was a skincare line, and how to develop, clean formulations and how to wrap, Versed is known for education as well. So Womaness really came about in that whole journey. I was like traveling every week, coast to coast, kind of burning, the candle at both ends. My kids were in high school and college, and I was really ignoring my own health. I knew that I was in menopause, but I didn't know what I was experiencing, because I was really experiencing a lot of different symptoms, but I didn't ever connect those symptoms to menopause. And so I decided to start to really invest in my own health. And I said, you know what, I'm going to sign up for a 2-day physical at Mayo Clinic. It's not too far from my house, and it's affordable. Why not go to the very best doctor? And I didn't have anything life-threatening per se, but I wanted to really get the right answers. And they have a really renowned women's health center there. And I found myself in this great conversation with a female doctor. And she basically reassured me that what I was experiencing was related to menopause. She confirmed that. And she really made me feel like I wasn't alone. There's so many women that are going through similar things. And, these are things like sleepless nights, night sweats, mood changes, vaginal dryness. No one talks about how your skin changes during menopause, and not just your facial skin, but your skin all over your body, even your intimate skin. So it just leads to a whole host of issues. And she was really reassuring. Come to find out, it's rare to have a doctor that's so understanding and so knowledgeable about menopause. So many women really have issues with that. But I was lucky that I felt like I could trust this woman. And she recommended that I try some products that were available on Amazon. So I went home that night to check out the products. And I remember my husband sitting in the kitchen like, "Are you going to buy them?" And I said, "No way am I buying any of these products." The names of the products seemed very outdated. The formulations didn't seem to be made with clean formulations. And the packaging had not been touched in decades. It all looked like it had been designed by men.
And it probably was.
Right, exactly. And I said to my husband, "No, I'm not going to buy these products." And I remember how disappointed he was. Um, and I said, why am I not tackling this space for women like me? And he said, no, that's probably a really good idea. So that was really my aha moment of thinking, I need to tackle this space. I mean, here I'm, helping to create brands for a lot of millennials, but not for women like me. And there must be a lot of women like me out there. So I started doing research and found that there were 50 million women going through menopause at any given time. And it's a long period. You can be in perimenopause, which is, kind of premenopause for 4 to 8 years. And then menopause, once you're through peri and you don't have a period for 12 months, then you're technically in menopause. And that's really the third of your life is spent in menopause. So that was really, to answer your question, I mean, that's really my journey, 35 years that led up to Womaness. But
I have so many questions, obviously.
Okay.
But before I get into them, what are the products that Womaness has, and what is what are the problems that all of these products are solving?
Yeah. So we started, Michelle, my co-founder, and I really wanted to tackle the major symptoms of menopause. So we did a lot of research at the beginning, because when you think of menopause, you usually just think of hot flashes. And that is a really, it's part of it, but it's not the only. There's like 48 symptoms. So we decided to tackle the major symptoms that we felt we could be really legitimate in. Because things like hair loss is a big symptom, but we didn't feel like, at least right now, we could have a solve for hair loss. And so changing skin because of the drop in estrogen is definitely a huge, symptom that every woman experiences. Hot flashes for sure. Night sweats, a lot of women, because of the change in estrogen, really experience, hot flashes and night sweats. Libido loss, or their, loss of libido. Mood and brain fog is another symptom that we felt that we could address. Light leaks. A lot of women experience like slight incontinence, they've had,
you're making me so excited for this moment in my life.
No, we don't want it to be, I'll get to the positive side of it. So a lot of it is, the sexual wellness desire. We chose to tackle changing skin. And then through our supplements, we tackled sleep, mood, brain fog, hot flashes, night sweats, and then the change of hair, skin, and nails, because again, your estrogen really affects that. So that's, we started with 13 products, and we knew, we wanted to have some really, really hero products. And it's really come to fruition, those products that we said we're really going to get behind. So one of them is Let's Neck, which is our neck and décolleté serum with the roller ball. And it's really popular because so many people, think about their necks constantly, especially, now with tech neck.
Right.
Too. It's just, it shows, we don't take care of our neck. Many of us were in the sun, so we have sun damage. So that's been a really, really strong item. And we, I'll get into some of the ingredients that we chose as well in a minute, but the Works is our body cream, which is really, really known for in nourishing and hydrating all your entire, body skin, because your skin changes all over your body, not just your facial skin. So we wanted a really, really incredible, rich moisturizer that didn't feel, dried quickly.
Yeah.
So it absorbed, but dried quickly. So you can get dressed pretty quickly. So those are two really most well-known skincare items. And then we have a supplement called menopause, because at Womaness, we don't believe in the pause. So we created, some fun names of our products too. So menopause is a very serious supplement. Actually, we used pycnogenol, which is French maritime tree bark. It's got 10 years of clinical studies, really around hot flashes and night sweats in particular, but also a little bit with libido. So really, it's really known for blood circulation. It's a really, really great ingredient. So that's our hero ingredient in menopause. And then we have a Daily V Soothe, which is vaginal moisturizer. It's a water-based with hyaluronic acid. And then our vibrator is actually one of our top selling items. So those are kind of our 5 top selling items, but right now we have 15 products. So
I love so much about this story. And the first thing that I love is that you have taken 35 years of experience and doing things for other people, and you are now doing something for you. And you really have, your experience has led to your why, and your why is now helping so many other women, which is, I mean, how does that make you feel? I mean, it's very different than putting someone else's product into Target.
Right. No, it makes, I mean, we're so excited at the response, because women are saying, hallelujah, finally someone's addressing this space. And I finally feel like I have a brand for me, especially as you go through this experience. It's such a big transition. And so, we're trying to change the conversation around menopause, women's health, and we're getting an incredible response. So it's very fulfilling. I love talking to our customers, because that's really the most fulfilling, rewarding moment, is really talking to our customers and hearing what they have to say. And so, I loved being in fashion, creating fashion brands, and, you do make people feel better through fashion, but this is beyond that. This is women's health. And it's not just, yes, there's a beauty component, but it's really making women feel better. And, that is very, very exciting and rewarding and important.
So important. And you actually just said something that I was going to ask you, and this is my next thing that I'm so excited about, is you are changing the conversation. And when I think about like my mom's generation, and like, just not even just about this, but just about everything, like, and my friends and I talk about this often, like our moms, like, don't talk about things, like no one talks about anything. There's no problems. Like,
no.
And it's
they
like,
never went through menopause, wink, wink.
They're just, it's so not open, you know what I mean? And like, I have such a more open relationship with my daughters than like my mom had with me. And I just think it's generational. It wasn't anything she did wrong, or, I mean, that's not what I'm saying. I love my mom so much, but I love that you're changing this conversation, and not even just changing it, you're having the conversation,
right.
Which is like a step in the right direction, because, most people don't, to your point, don't know. And I feel like you are setting up success for my generation.
Right. Absolutely.
And
thank you for saying that, because that is such an important message, that we want women in their 30s to even know about menopause, be prepared. And as don't wait until your 40s even, because you're going to be thrown into perimenopause. I mean, the average age of perimenopause is 47. So it's super important to know, what to expect. It's a much more enjoyable experience, and it can be enjoyable. A lot of women feel a new kind of lease on life during this stage, for a variety of reasons. And it's so important for women to be prepared, because if you're prepared, you're going to just feel more comfortable and empowered going through this transition.
So you talked a little bit about talking to your customers, and that you have a brand and a product and products and community that really rely on talking to your customers and them talking to each other. So can you talk a little bit about the importance of your content, and like how the education component of what you're doing really feeds into the awareness play and getting your message out there? I mean, this is something I tell brands all the time, that like, you have to have a content mission. You have to be communicating and talking and having those two-way conversations with your community. I don't even like saying the word audience. I like using the word community. But you have definitely a brand that is, I mean, this is imperative for your brand.
Yeah,
so can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. I mean, we always said from the beginning, we're going to invest in experts. We're going to have, expert interviews, experts, create content for us. And it's really like, we're really double downing on that piece because it's been so important and so popular. So we have a relationship actually with the Mayo Clinic. We have Dr. Kapoor from the Women's Health Center that has been providing content for us. And she is just so knowledgeable about menopause and women's health. Dr. Somi Javed is another friend of our brand. She owns Her MD, which is a really, really great clinic and telemedicine solution for women, specifically around menopause, and a whole host of other experts. We brought in a happiness expert. We brought in a fitness expert, a nutritionist, all sorts of experts, because we really feel like it's important to really hear directly from their expertise, right? Of how, what are the symptoms? What are the solutions? What to expect? What to ask your doctor? How to demand, better medical service as well, or medical advice. So there's just a whole host of issues that we're hearing from our customers that they want answers to. So we really lean on our experts. And then we really serve that content up through, social media, through our blog on our site. It's even worked for us to run ads with our content.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because my next question was, how are you talking to your customers and where are you finding them? Because like when I went through the whole, like the 10 years of Bump Club, the moms that I was talking to, originally it was me. And there was no Facebook business pages when I started. And so I had to grow my business alongside social media, which meant I also had to learn how to do all the social media.
Right.
And all of a sudden the moms were in different places than they were when I first started.
Yeah.
But you are reaching someone who might be it probably is on social media to some degree, but definitely not the same way that generations after them are. Like your marketing on social media will change as time goes on, because we are consuming things differently in our 40s and 30s as women now in their late 40s and 50s and past that, right? So that doesn't surprise me that you say ads work, because a lot of these women still are reading the magazines that are around, right? I mean, that probably plays a big role in you getting press in printed publications, running ads on TV, right? So like, how are you finding your community?
Yeah, well, we've tried many different things. And what seems to work right now is for this, our average age customer is 51. Mm-hmm. So you're right, Lindsay, it's going to change as the millennials are aging into perimenopause. So we know that, but social media has been definitely a key way. Instagram, Facebook, even TikTok has done well for us. So we're constantly experimenting in those spaces. And, we really do lean into education, but what we also lean into inspiration, just making this woman feel better, feel like she's part of a community. And again, opening up and having that conversation. I would say the other, we have a private Facebook group called the After Party, which has really been effective. And we have a woman on our team, Anne, who runs that Facebook group. She's super relatable and funny. And that's really working, just because you need someone in this demo that women can feel like they can relate to.
Yes.
So that's really been
how I built my whole business.
Exactly. Right? That's really been working for us. You said press. We have really made a concerted effort to be part of the dialogue around this. So, constantly pitching either local television. There's a lot of, television lifestyle shows that are in like 15 markets. We are pitching all of them. Printed magazines, you're right. Our woman still likes to touch a glossy magazine and read these articles. So she is online, but she is still consuming traditional media. And over time, that will change. So the younger woman is definitely leaning more into social media, digital media, influencers. We call them muses because influencers seem like kind of an outdated term. I mean,
I call them influentials.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Like,
and these are women
someone who has isn't just holding up product, but who has
Right.
an expertise and who has built a
Absolutely.
following because they are an expert at something, or
Right.
they're really good at something, or knowledgeable about something.
Right. Yeah. And it's so important that, you know, we help them too. So it's a relationship that we're
Right.
building with these influential women.
It's interesting because I would surmise, I mean, this is going to happen, like the way even that you communicate digitally is going to change over time. Because like when I think of like, I mean, like my mom is in her 70s, but when I think of like women who are like my mom's age and even a little bit younger, like on Instagram, like my mom doesn't know to like search a hashtag. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? But like coming up on this time of my life, like I would know to go on Instagram and search a hashtag, and
Right,
then I
right.
would find you. So like even the process of how and what you
Yeah.
share is going to shift. I'm like, really, I'm going to be so interested to see
Yeah,
this play out,
it's
because
a
it's very
marketing
different.
Harvard. We say it's like a Harvard Business Review case study. I mean,
Well,
it
and as
is.
the life cycle changes, so
Yeah,
so
yeah,
does consumption habits,
absolutely.
and so
Right,
it's
right.
really awesome. Like
Yeah.
I'm very intrigued by this. There's a couple more things that I want to ask you, but about the business first. But I also want to ask you about you. Like, have you ever had a break?
I really haven't. I know. I'm looking forward to the day where maybe I won't stop working, but maybe I'll work part-time.
I mean, like, do you think that Womaness is something that like you'll do? Like, do you think you'll do it forever? Do you think you'll sell it? Like, what are your goals for this brand?
I mean, I think there will be some desire for acquisition down the road. So of course, you know, I definitely have learned to, I call it bleisure. So I'm in San Diego right now with my cousin. So this is like an example of bleisure, where it's
Right.
business. Like she and I are working until noon today, and then we're going to take the afternoon off. So it is important. I don't want your audience, your fans, to think that the only way to be successful is to work all the time, because I actually don't think that's true. I think it does take its toll, and it is important to take time to, you know, take a few days off every year.
That,
Yeah,
because I think too, you're an example of someone who has built something to fit into your lifestyle, not
right.
someone who's
Yeah,
getting up every morning to go fit into someone else's.
right,
And
right.
that is very important. And I do feel like we're at a pivotal moment in time where women can do this.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a great way of saying it. So it doesn't always feel like work. Of course, the financials, you know, cash flow and all those things they do feel like work, but like talking to our customer, oh my gosh, that's so fun. You know, it's just like being with girlfriends. So
let's talk a little bit about the financials, because the one question that I get a lot, like after the fact from my guests, are, this brand started, they had this product, like how did they finance it? And that is really the number one question so many entrepreneurs have, especially when it's a business that has actual product and overhead. Like I didn't have that. So my process was very different, but I would love for you to share some light on that process.
Oh my gosh. Well, Michelle and I really created the brand pre-pandemic. And then as soon as the pandemic hit is when we were going to go out and raise money. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? So before that, we did decide to self-fund the startup costs. So we knew that we had to invest in like all of the brand assets. We didn't have to do a photo shoot per se, but we had to create this incredible presentation to wow retailers and investors, and that cost money. And we had to create a logo, and we had legal costs, and we had, I mean, before you knew it, we were like, oh my gosh, $300,000 into this. And I remember saying to my husband, I have to pay this person, it's $10,000. And he was like, okay, that's great. He just kept saying, keep going, keep going. And Michelle's husband said the same thing. If we didn't have that support, it would have been impossible.
Yeah.
Because it was so scary.
Yes.
We had no idea if this was,
too. But they believed in you, and they believed in you.
Both husbands did. So we were really lucky, and our parents too. Michelle's mom and my dad were the first two investors. So
but that's
it's
amazing.
cute. It's a cute story. So, and it was hard. It was hard. And then when the pandemic hit, at that point we knew that there was some retail interest. We knew that we had to start going into product testing. So that gets very expensive, right? All that third party certification, all of that is thousands and thousands of dollars, especially for 13 products that we launched with. So we started pitching investors, in March, and we had some initial interest, but then the world really shut down. And so the advice that we got was maybe take a break from, even delay your launch. So we did delay it a little bit, but we also said, no, we have to launch this in 2021. And, we just stuck by our guns, so to speak. And then in May and June, I think the world started opening up a little bit. Confidence, I think retailers were pretty shocked that the consumer was still shopping. She was just shopping online, or she was doing pickup in store.
Curbside,
Yeah. So I think the investor community started feeling like they could kind of go back to some of those conversations that were happening. So Unilever was one of our first investors to really lock in, which was really great. So once we had Unilever, then we were able to get, our next biggest investor, and it just kind of fell into place. But it happened, it all took place much later than we wanted. And it was very stressful because we had to buy inventory before we had the money in the bank. So what we did is we did a safe note, and we were able to get about $1 million in like smaller investors lined up that were able to give us the cash first. I mean, all the terms were approved, and then we were able to get the bigger investors done like October of that year, the next year, 2021.
And it's interesting.
I'm trying to remember all the dates.
I know everything's so
October
foggy.
2020. Yeah, but it was crazy. But we did self-fund, and we wanted to self-fund. We wanted to be able to say, we believe in this so much that we put our own money behind it.
Well, but the other thing you said is like everything falls into place, and it's not like it just fell into place overnight. And I'm glad that you shared that story, but it fell into place because you have something that is so needed, and you knew that, and you believed in it, and you stood by it, and clearly it is, and I think, I'm not in this right now, but like you are revolutionizing the way this is occurring for women. And I mean, you're going to be around for a long time because of that. Like women my age, women even like a little older than me, we talk about things like all the time. And like, especially with social media now, everyone's so public about what they're going through. I mean, so this is only going to get bigger over time.
We agree.
I mean,
we think so.
This is not, and to your point earlier in the conversation, you talked about all those products that were like developed by men, and surely they were. And like, those products are probably not even going to be around because consumers are so like, they see through this stuff now.
Right. Yeah.
Which is, tell me what was going through your mind when you left Target. And I think like, a lot of people ask me all the time, like, what was going through your head when you made that decision to leave? And like, that was really your first big decision. And like, had you not done that, you probably wouldn't be here where you are today. So,
right.
Like, how did you get yourself to that point? And how did you know that like, it was going to be okay?
Such a good question. I mean, I thought about leaving Target for a year before I did. It was just such a hard decision because it was such a great company. As we all know, we all love Target, and it was a great employer. But I felt like maybe because of my age, I thought if I don't do it now, I'm not going to do it. So I really put a timeline at the deadline to make that decision. So that was the first big decision that I had. And then the second decision, like after, I started the business, I did think, oh my gosh, I didn't have any regrets, but I thought, did I make the right decision? But I started really getting excited about all the people I was meeting. I was able to get a few clients right away. And one of my clients was sending me over to London to meet with Tesco. And that was super exciting to meet with another retailer in the world. And I'd sit across this table from these British merchants. And I thought, I feel like I'm back at Target. although they're not as good of merchants as the Target merchants, but they
Tesco
were
has
all
a wild story though. And like I did some work in grad school, like on
did you?
Tesco
Yeah.
case studies, and like they have great,
It was
yeah.
interesting, but you know, and I think they liked working with me because I could speak their language.
Mm-hmm.
So it got more exciting. But at the beginning, I thought, "Oh, I'm sitting in my home office. I mean, this is back, right? I didn't want to spend money on an office
Right.
in Minneapolis. So I still can't believe I did it because it was such a change to go
Well, I'm so
from
glad
this
that you
big
did.
corporate, thank you, to go from this big corporate machine to my own business. And just even like, how do I get my accounting done? How do I fix my tech issues? I had someone to do all of that for me at Target.
Right.
So it's a really big adjustment. And, you know, but
a
I'm glad,
worthwhile
you
one,
know,
don't you think?
yeah, it was great. And, you know, it made me also better at doing the work because in these big jobs, you end up just directing the work and you forget how is the work actually done. I was really shocked. And now I have to actually write a deck. I actually have to like type it into PowerPoint instead of someone on my team, you know, doing all the work
Yeah.
for me. So
It's totally different, but totally
no,
worthwhile.
it is. Yeah, it is. But you have to be ready mentally for that.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. So
Yeah.
as we wrap up, I'd love for you to share 3 tips that you would give someone who wants to start a business or who has an idea. What would you tell them?
Well, it's never too late. It's never too late to start your own business. I think there's so much opportunity in this aging population. There's so many white spaces. So, you know, find a white space, you know, or something that's underserved in the market. Make sure that your business is really covering that need, but it's never too late. I don't want anyone to feel discouraged because they're, you know, turning 50 for God's sake, or, you know, 60 even. And then lean on your network. I always say that because there's so many people that help me along the way. And I think it's really important to not feel like you're going out about this on your own, that you really can lean on your network. And you'd be surprised at the people that really do want to come out and help and give you advice. So, you know, and be prepared to probably put a little bit of your own money into it. You know, maybe you don't have to, but I think it makes it feel a little bit more like you have skin in the game. So
such good advice. So where can our listeners find Womaness?
Okay, womaness.com is our main website. My Womaness is our social handles on Instagram and Facebook. We're on TikTok as well. And then select Target stores, target.com. We're also on Amazon.com. And soon we'll announce another retailer. So, and
Very
GNC.
exciting.
We just launched some of our supplements on at GNC this week. So
Congratulations.
we're you know, we want to be where our customer is shopping. We know she's shopping at Target and she loves to shop there. So we're really trying to be where she is and, you know, service her needs. So,
Sally
thank
Miller,
you.
co-founder of Womaness. Thank you so much for being here and for
Thanks,
sharing
Lindsay.
your story, because it's amazing. And I'm so excited to share it with the world.
Thank you.
Of course.